Welcome to worshiptutorials.com. If you have an HX Effects by Line 6, what we have for you is a replacement for an entire pedal board, if you have one of those still laying around. I mean, who uses ancient technology like that anymore?
Ancient technology, I do.
Yeah, you do.
Into my Kemper. Or maybe you're here because you're wondering if an HX is right for you.
Yeah.
We got plenty of videos to prove it to you, but this is just a little bit of everything all in one.
Yes, we call this the basic board number one.
Number one,
which
we're going to have more.
Suggest that there's going to be more of these coming with different things in them. But for this patch, what we wanted to do was provide you all the basic tools that we would use if we were kind of putting a pedal board together with, the basic things you need to get the sounds that you hear in modern praise and worship music. If you're not a praise and worship music person,
there's still cool
rock,
sounds here.
Modern rock, ambient kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're talking, there's a compressor in here, there's delays, reverbs, and overdrives.
Yes. And we're going to walk you through it now.
Yeah. So you heard Brad play in the beginning there, in the intro, you heard Bradford, we just had some sounds set up to give you a basic rhythm tone, kind of a lead tone. What else did we do?
Did more like a solo-y kind of lead tone, and then like a more clean, just ambient, reverb-y kind of tone and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and we showed you how to do some volume swells. Essentially, any of that stuff, I played different song parts, but you could get any of those if you like all in one.
So let's talk about what is actually in this patch, what you get. There are actually 9 effects in the patch. The HX Effects allows you to put 9 different effects in one patch, but you only get 6 foot switches, so you have to sort of pick and choose. If you're going to have 9 effects in there, you either have to assign multiple effects to a switch, or you have to have some things that are just always on, which we have both of those going on in this patch.
Both.
Okay, so let's talk signal flow. The first thing in the path in this patch is the deluxe compressor.
That's a staple for us.
Yeah, we love the deluxe comp. And it's what, a little more transparent?
Yeah, it's actually, funny enough, not much compressing.
Not a lot.
It's more about the sustain than it is the compressing.
Yeah, and the compressor is actually going to boost your signal.
Yes.
So that's one thing to think about. Like, if you turn it on and off, you'll notice a jump in volume, so it's going to push the front end of your amp a little harder.
Yes.
We'll talk about that here in just a bit. Next are the drives. So we have the Minotaur, which is the Klon, and the Tube Screamer, I believe, right?
Yes, which is the Scream 808.
Scream 808.
Yes.
Yeah, then we hit the split, which is important, but we
Yes.
also have the delays.
Yes.
So the delays are running in parallel paths, not in what's the other series?
We got two delays. One, the vintage digital is our dotted eighth, and we thought that needed to be crisper if you want to do those real galloping, real rhythmic lead lines. And then the Adriatic, which Brian and I both just think sounds amazing regardless, but
Probably
we're using
my favorite
that
delay in all of the Helix.
Yeah, it's
that
very
or the
unique.
Cosmos Echo.
Yes.
Gosh,
They're
that's cool.
very awesome.
Next thing is the Cosmos Echo, which we use for the swells functionality. So what we have on this patch are 2 effects assigned to the swells button. The Cosmos Echo, and it's coming up later, the Searchlights.
The Searchlights.
But next we have the Plate Reverb, which is an always-on kind of a reverb. So it's a short reverb that it doesn't stand out or draw much attention to itself. It just gives the sound a little bit of, feels like a sense of.
You may only notice it's there when it's not there. Yeah. But it's just so it's not stale. We like a little bit of room behind it.
Yeah, but just be aware, there is a reverb on this patch that's always on, not assigned to a foot switch. So if you don't want any verb, you have to go in and turn that off.
Yes.
Next is Searchlights. It's a huge ambient reverb. It's assigned to the swells button.
Yep, with the Cosmos.
Yeah. And the next one is the Glitz. And the Glitz is our modulated.
Modulated verb, which is down here in the...
And it is assigned to a button.
The bottom right there.
This is kind of how we have it set up. On the left side, the 2 buttons are drives, 808 and Klon. Then in the middle, the 2 buttons are delays, quarter, dotted eighth, and then you've got your reverb stuff on the right.
Yes. Big swelly, washy, swirly stuff.
Yeah, so let's just demonstrate a few sounds. So let's hear the first our quote clean tone, and tell us what we're playing through here today.
So this is my new staple, my Suhr Classic T with a roasted maple neck, some great Suhr pickups, and we're going into a volume pedal because we feel that's absolutely necessary. We do.
Yeah.
And we just like having a separate tuner, so that's there out of the tuner, out of the volume pedal. HX into the Kemper, and our Kemper is running the Red Mark II profile of it's a Jackson Scarlett, and that's from our buddies over at Say La Sounds.
It's good. If you have a Kemper, check it out.
Yes.
We wanted to set this up like what we assume many of you are using if you have HX effects, running it into an amp. And you may say to yourself, but that's not an amp. It's a modeling amp. But it sounds just like a real amp when you put pedals in front of it. If you haven't experienced that, definitely check out what Kemper can do.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, this is what an amp sound. This is what this would sound like going into that Jackson Scarlett.
Yes.
Amp.
Speaking of, here it is with the compressor and a little bit of Verb, which again is always on with the way we have this set up.
Yep. That's our clean tone, which isn't all that clean on the bridge pickup.
But when you could.
Let's call it our dry tone, Bradford. How about that? We'll please people by saying that's our dry tone, but it's not actually dry because there's reverb on it. What should we call this? Our bass tone.
There you go.
Bass tone.
So we'll start with the bridge, and I'll just start adding one thing at a time so you can kind of hear individually what we got going on. So here's just delays, just quick little samples of what we got going on. Here's again without it. So this is what we were talking about earlier. They're in parallel, so they're running not into each other. In series would mean one would be piling into the other, and so this you
get more of a pattern.
You get more of a pattern, and it's a consistent pattern depending on how you have the feedback set. Mm-hmm. But if you have them into each other, it just kind of like can just cascade and get. By the time you're done, there's no distinguishing. So here's a. Here's our Glitz. It's our big modded Verb sound.
That is a great sound.
It is.
That's good.
Simple.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Nothing too fancy. I mean, it's big.
It's there. It's not too much though to like really muddy your tone up.
Yes. Now, speaking of too much, I mean it's a good too much because it swells. So you could use just that button and be great, or of course you can stack whatever else the heck you want on top of it.
Drive, more delay, more verb.
Yeah.
So that is the basic board number one. So this is going to get you pretty much everything you would need to cover.
Yes.
And if you have other pedals, certainly you could add to it.
Yeah. Or, I mean, just grab this, and if you know, like, if you want to copy and paste this for each song, because we got a lot of the work out of the way for you, and then you want to change a couple things, maybe you don't need 2 drives, or maybe you don't need a swells for every single song. Like, it's real easy to just switch something out and just use this as a building block, too.
Yeah. So that's our basic board patch. There's a link below.
Number 1.
To go grab it. We'll have more of these coming soon. If there are specific things that you'd like to see from HX Effects incorporated into like a full board type of a patch, let us know. We might throw something together.
We'll see.
For you.
We will see.
Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Bye.